The Last Voyage of the Demeter is a new horror film from Universal. It is based off of a singular chapter in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it follows the story of a crew of, like, I guess, merchants who accidentally carry the cargo of Dracula from Romania to England. So, going into this movie, I was pretty excited. I remember hearing about the concept of this movie, like, back January, December-ish, and then getting more and more excited for it. I was very anticipating its release, and then I saw it yesterday. So, yeah, I was really excited to see this movie. I loved the concept. Any horror movie that's, like, based on around a ship or the ocean, I really, really like. And especially, like, a more classic approach to Dracula and like vampires in general, I'm a big fan of. That's why I was kind of disappointed by something like Renfield from this year. I just like when they handle vampires correctly. I think they can be one of the scariest horror movie villains if they do. So with The Last Voyage of the Demeter, a lot of people aren't really liking it. They're calling it pretty bland and nothing original, and like it's slow. And I guess I can agree with some of that, but I ended up really liking The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. It definitely has its issues, but I ended up being pretty entertained. I like how they utilize the atmosphere and the setting. I think that is easily the best part of The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Using like the creepiness of the boat and like the storms and using its environment to have creative gore and creative suspense, and you never really know where Dracula is or when he's going to pop out. So that was easily the best part of the movie, just how much it kept you on the edge of your seat and almost felt like going into an attraction haunted house, just because of like you never know what's coming at you and stuff. So I don't know, I liked that feeling of the movie. And again, the setting was done really well. The set design was really great. I thought they brought the ship to life. I don't know if they are actually on a real ship or not. Excuse me, but it looked incredible. The cinematography was actually really good. There was a lot of really interesting shots in this movie, especially the way they framed Dracula and stuff. Just a lot of cool stuff like that visually and from an entertainment standpoint. This movie really, really worked for me. I thought the actors all did a pretty good job. They did a great job bouncing off of each other. Especially the guy who was in like Prisoners and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I always forget his name, but he was really good in this movie. He's pretty good in everything he does. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. I want more simple horror movies like this. I want stuff that's like bringing it more back to its roots and like kind of like gothic horror and stuff that is definitely way more atmospheric and has a sense of tension to it. Like I feel like that if your horror movie has bad atmosphere, I feel like you're kind of, I don't know, ruining the entire purpose of a horror movie. But that's besides the point. This movie definitely gets that right. Where it gets stuff wrong is I do think it is overly long. It's 2 hours long, and I think that's too much. There was too much filler. And it's definitely a slower burn, which I do appreciate at some points. Building up on those scares. I do like that aspect. And I forgot to mention, I like the a story element that they use where you can feel the sense of dread and hopelessness with these characters. Like Dracula seems like such an unbeatable foe that you really don't think any of them are going to get out alive. And I think doing that with your villain is a real accomplishment, especially in this kind of movie. So I thought they did a great job showing the hopelessness of the characters in this movie. But yeah, again, where it falters, it's definitely way too long. It drags out certain scenes. Certain scenes feel like they should have been cut. Just the overall editing of this movie isn't fantastic, and I think that'll definitely bog it down a couple of scores. Again, I just had a lot of fun with it. I really like horror movies like this, and I love the atmosphere and the actors working together and the tension. Again, maybe not the best story, maybe not like the most original thing in the world, and it's definitely way too slow, but I really, really like The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I'm going to give it a strong B. So that's my thoughts on that movie. I'm going to be going to college pretty soon. So that'll take a little bit of time adjusting, especially with like seeing movies in the movie theater. That'll be an adjustment, finding another one, getting to that one. So I'm going to try to see as many movies as I can this week, so that I can have stuff for you to watch in September. I will most likely get used to it and get into a rhythm by like mid-September, but like, well, that's like a month from now, so I do want to get you guys content, so I'm gonna be figuring that out, seeing a lot of movies this week just to, fill that time. So anyways, I will see you guys with the next review. Wow.